The history of this goes back to when we had a question about how our patrol was handling traffic rules and how they were reporting violations to the compliance committee because the compliance committee was having difficulties. As you will recall, actually finding that traffic rules had been violated. And the board wanted to relook at its traffic rules. So I said I would put it on a future agenda, and here it is. Traffic rules are included in this thing called, well, it's the same article we just talked about, Article 5. And the traffic rules are in, what did I say? 8A. So I guess, well, I'm sorry, John.
I was just going to say, the issue, whether we should refer this, or we're not going to approve it tonight, are we?
No, this is not a change. This is what they're looking for. There's been no change here.
Okay.
The board just asked the opportunity to have a debate about its own traffic rules. And I'm putting it before you to have that debate if you wish to.
Radar use was one of the.
It was one of the questions we had, yes, we did.
And the another question is, we have a practice of stopping people for reckless driving, but I don't think we have any definition of reckless driving. Those are the things that I recall the board was concerned about. So, now looking at what we have currently on the books, does the board wish to perhaps direct the safety committee to pick up the traffic rules and write them in a more complete way and propose changes to the board? Yes, Dave.
Yeah, I've read through this thing a couple of times, and I think it's ready for a rewrite. I don't know who should do it, but there are multiple little things here and there, and you know, times change.
Thank you, I wrote it.
Yeah, but it's been a couple of years. It's been a couple of years.
Back when we had no GM. Okay, sorry, Dave.
Anyway,
Well, it really isn't, I mean, I don't know what you do with it, 'cause it's not really safety. There's only pieces of it.
yeah, I know.
Safety.
Yes, I agree.
So I don't know where it goes.
I just,
Maybe we need to establish a task force to look at
I can't hear you, Mike.
ad hoc committee or something.
it. I said maybe we need to put together an ad hoc committee or task force to look at these for rewriting.
Hey, you know what might be a good idea? Why don't we get like Diane, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Judy and maybe a couple of the chairs of a couple of the task force and let them think if they want it. Judy's not here, I vote Judy.
It's Judy.
Both, they're not here.
Judy doesn't have anything to do with this, I mean, she's late
Well,
committee.
she's like, you know what I mean, the committees that have something to do with it.
Safety has something to do with
Yeah,
that.
there's boats and jet skis in here. There's a little bit of everything in here.
Yeah, this is a
But
couple.
maybe if all of them got their eyes on it together for a half an hour, they can hammer it out and
Yeah.
be done with it.
Yeah.
I don't see this has anything to do with the lake. Because you have boats, that's just, that is the way they're treated as they enter the gate.
Yeah, it's how the gate handles them.
Yeah.
We could give it to Ray, because he hasn't had much to do.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
I was going to suggest
Just
that.
up there.
How about a board member working with the safety committee?
We are talking about Article 5, right?
Article 5.
They have a liaison, so that would be me.
Okay,
So we're back
I
to
vote for
having-
Noel.
Looks like we got a volunteer.
I wrote it down.
So Noel, are you interested in looking at the greater issues, the issues beyond safety in here?
I have one request that I'd like to be at least looked at by somebody along these lines, and that's how do we handle folks that are ineligible members regarding stickers and access to Lake Holiday? Because this is where it ought to be written.
Mhm.
And, you know, whether they should get maybe a different sticker or something. Some way, so you can identify that that car sitting at the beach doesn't belong there. Right now, you can't tell. I just bring that up. I'd like to have them look at it.
Well, we don't even have every vehicle having a sticker, so we could start right
Well,
there.
that's true too.
You know, that's rolling patrol giving out little chattel and friendly citations here.
Anyway, I would like that looked at.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you want to take it, that's fine, but it isn't safety.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Except for this little thing in 8, that's the safety issue. So there is a safety component to it, but there is a larger component to it having to do with how we manage our gate.
Wayne,
Yes?
I was talking to Bill Adams just a week or so ago, and he was talking about B&G taking on access, the gate and perimeter, and that type of thing being underground. So maybe we can work with the buildings and grounds.
I don't think buildings and grounds have got anything to do with any one of these issues to take care of buildings and
Well,
grounds.
safety also used to have access, but we had to kind of draw it back on that stuff.
I don't care.
You know, we'll look it over, we'll get with whoever you want, we'll reassess it.
Can I get a board member to volunteer?
I'll do it, okay, because I'm already on the safety committee.
Okay. So Noel, you will work with safety to look at the whole of Article 5 and propose to the board any changes that you think are necessary.
Would it be, as a question, would it be good to involve the chairs of compliance, just so that, yeah, that would make it a lot clearer? Because part of this started because compliance was a difficult time.
Yeah, you got it. Kathy liked it about.
No, he's not.
Architectural.
I think that's a good idea. Although that's a little busy these days.
It's just got his 2 cents worth.
Okay, Noel, can you pull that group together
Yes,
and take a look at this?
yes, I'm making the right here.
As far as the traffic, traffic enforcement, do you want them to consider this, also that, and how, whether you want to enforce speeding with radar guns? Is that something that?
Absolutely, because that was one of the issues that the board raised. Do we want to write the radar gun rule into here?
I think if you're gonna have it, this would be the place with it, John.
I think so. Yeah, that's what the
And
board,
then that gives the board the right to debate. I mean,
discussed.
when it comes to discussing.
Okay, but I mean, I don't want us to go to a lot of trouble by trying to word how to use the radar gun and all this other stuff, and then have you all say, oh, we decided we're not going to use the radar gun. So, do you want to use the radar gun and have us write the rules about it, or not?
I think it would be interesting to see what the proposed rules are. That may be what, how the board decides whether to use it or not. The other input would seem to be through Ray and maybe even through your contractor.
He is open and can and is certified to provide that service.
I like your question, but I don't know if we can decide it that simply. It may be, how is it gonna be done?
But I don't really want to go home and go to all this trouble and then have people say, well, we didn't want, we didn't want anything.
Okay, show of hands. Who's interested in having a debate about the use of radar guns?
Is it only radar guns?
Well, I mean, that's the issue that you raised.
I didn't raise it.
Well, I asked, I mean, you all were talking about the
Yeah,
radar
like the
guns.
last thing that came
That's-
up about radar guns was whether or not we could use them, but he just gave us great information that our security contractor can and has the
Certification.
certification.
So now it's a,
So now it's a different question.
But the question Noel is asking, we should even pay attention to the question.
Absolutely.
Does the board want her to pay attention to the question and write something that will stimulate a debate? Yes?
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Great.
Sure.
I've got a cry over here from John. It's a taser.
Noel,
It's a
any
taser.
more questions on the brief?
It's the highlighter, but it's a taser.
Well, since I haven't read it in a while, no, I guess not. Do you have any questions, Diane?
Huh?
Do you have any questions
Not yet.
about?
I don't,
If I have questions, I'll send you
Well,
emails.
with all due respect, I don't get a sense that you really got your heart in this one.
Gee, I will do it.
If you
I
would,
said
if you
I
would rather not, if you don't think this is an appropriate assignment or something you don't care enough about to really get your teeth into, then maybe somebody else wants to take it.
Well, you kind of assigned it to the
Give me
safety
a-
committee.